What is up, sickos? Did UFC just partner with M1 Global? We'll do a Dana White Contender Series recap and much more MMA news. It is July 18th. I'm Dan from Oregon, live from the studios here in the 541. This is the truth in MMA, and let's look into this shit.
It shouldn't be such a big deal. History, science, education, energy, everything has always been controlled by the government since day one. CIA!
Look at the time.
You figure it out. You try to figure it out.
It
No,
seems like
because when
people
they
would.
look into it, it's common sense. When you look into it,
So imagine thousands of emails.
So check this out, man. Lot of news going on lately in all of Russia. Let's get real. So earlier, Kaposa drops this out there, Gabaka Hitman, and we've been following all of the news via Big Marcel, and I don't know what all these cancellations mean for the UFC, or for ACB. Rumors of up to 6 shows being canceled, but I pray it's not what it looks like. Dark times for Russian MMA between this and Fight Nights Global. And what he means by that is gotta be that Fight Nights Global, their oligarch, got arrested, and ever since then they haven't had a show. They got one show scheduled for October that's still on the books. And then ACB lost London, Cyprus, Kavav, and then most recently Sweden. They're all gone. They're all out. What up, Steve? What up, Frank? Wakey bakey time now? Sure. All right. And then, so that's what's going on with ACB. In the meantime, M1 Global is the old tried and true that's been coming through there. And I wanted to play a quick clip just to give us some backstory on this whole Russian scene. Where's it at? Oh shit, might have shut it down. There's an excellent Sherdog Radio Network interview though between Kareem Zidane on Press Row with Jordan Breen. You guys, I hardly recommend that you check it out. Anyways, Russian MMA's been around for like fucking since 95 or some shit. And Vadim Finkelstein reveals he's the owner or the CEO over there at M1. He was the one that was been partnered with Fedor that the UFC has been trying to do a deal with for goddamn ever. And so he reveals that the UFC attempted to purchase M1 Global in 2009 and then went for their entire fight library in 2014 via Kareem Zidane. And then when you learn more, Vadim Finkelstein is a tall Russian with business in St. Petersburg and Netherlands, including an ownership stake in mixed martial arts organization M1, which he founded in '97. The Russian promotion's main financier, influential backer, Sergei Matvlikenko, I don't know how to say that, was also present. And so this is the guy who runs M1. This is the guy that apparently is partnering up with the UFC. And what do we learn? Essentially, they are going to become the official feeder league of the UFC for all Russian-based things that are going on. Essentially, it's almost like what the LFA is over here. What World Series of Fighting kind of was to the UFC. Any of the champions have a clause where they could just sign directly to the UFC. This is big. This is right in time for the big card that's coming up over in Moscow. Fight Nights Global has already been rumored to losing Vitaly, or what the fuck's his name? Vitaly Minkov? I don't know, the 205er. He, apparently, they can't get fights there. He might be coming back over to the UFC, and this brings up all types of potential matchups But let's read exactly how this got posted via Big Marshall on, I think, Instagram is where they might have put this. Let's go big. Russian-Chinese investment fund, Budadulub Investment Company, and Ultimate Fighting Championship announced foundation of UFC Russia. The new company is going to promote MMA and organize new shows in Russia and the Commonwealth and independent states. Does that mean M1 will now be called UFC Russia? Huh. M1 Global is going to be partner taking care of finding Russian athletes and preparing them for fights. M1 Challenge Champions will get a unique opportunity to sign contracts with the UFC. M1 Global President Vadim Finkelstein, we are looking forward to further cooperation with the UFC and Russian Chinese Investment Fund, working on developing young Russian talents. This will benefit our sport very much. MMA is a very popular kind of sport. In cooperation with the UFC Investment Fund, M1 Global can take MMA in Russia to a new level. 100%. So this shit is fucking crazy. I don't even know, man. I want to go like complete conspiracy on this and be like, yo, what happened with ACB? Where did their funding go? What happened with Fight Nights Global? Was it all this set up for the UFC to come in here and fucking take the game over? Makes sense, Dan. Bellator signed with DAZN, so I don't think Bellator will be feeders for the UFC. Very true, Frank. Very true. BLT, he basically says this is the first good move by the new owners, keeping M1 guys around to assist instead of eating them like Pride, WEC, and Strike Force. Man, good call there, BLT. Good call. Kaposa just posted a tweet on this. Okay. We'll see what you got, Kaposa. Oh, why did I close that? I should have refreshed or whatever. So that's what we got going on so far. And who was it? Sean Biter, I believe, at MMA Wizard. M1 has a lot of talent. Movasar, Evilov, Artem Frovolov, Damir Izamagulov, Alexei Konchenko, Pablo Ortman, Safakat Rakamanov, and then Adam Bogatirov. Man, I was doing the deep dive into Alexei Konchenko. This dude is 18-0 at the welterweight division. I even name dropped him on MMA Junkie Radio not too long ago. So some potential guys that could be headed to the UFC. We'll see exactly what happens there. 2009, Dana rants about Vadummy wanting to build an arena. I want to sign a guy. I'm not looking to build arenas or get into business with you or anything like that. 2018, M1 opens their own arena, announces partnership with the UFC. The M1 Global Arena, man, it's pretty awesome over there in St. Petersburg. How about that? How about that? Good find, BLT. Also in Russia, press release, it was stated that M1 champions will have guaranteed chance to sign with UFC. I'm pretty sure they're trying to mislead fighters, so they will sign with them for lower purses just for the opportunity to fight in the UFC. Good point there, good point. Just because you have... In other words, M1 want to manage all their fighters and potentially take a commission from them if they will move to the UFC. Ooh. Another take on this. It's just another jungle fight situation where the promoter essentially becomes your manager upon signing with the UFC. Weird. Seems like Russian MMA landscape is about to change. M1 always stood their ground while ACB and Fight Night School signed up a majority of top talent in the region. Now both organizations appear to be having difficulties, and it's Russian MMA stalwart, founded in '97, making moves. This shit, man. It's a crazy time. I didn't see any of this fucking coming. I don't know who really did. Dan Onik with pronunciations. I'm sure that's a joke. Not exactly sure. Dana slagging them off in 2009 and now being business with him. Yeah, and then the other article said that you tried to buy the entire fight library in 2014. Trump brokered the deal. I don't know. Man, okay, so I'm trying to get a Russian correspondent on here so we can get a complete breakdown of this. But at one point in time, M1 was the state-sponsored MMA organization. Something happened. It seemed like all of the partnerships shifted to Fight Nights Global, or the old Eurasian Fight Nights. They're the ones that had Fedor Emelianenko and everything like that. And so M1 kind of went to the wayside. We all know what ACB was offering. It's kind of looking like their cash supply is running out over there in Chechnya. But we'll see, man. Only time will tell as this story develops. We'll see. Essentially what this means is we're going to get a badass fucking Fight Pass card for the UFC in Moscow. Hunt versus Olenek is supposed to be your main event, but don't be surprised if we see a fucking plethora of all the Russians that are already under contract and a few new champions coming over. That would be amazing. I can't wait. This opens the door big time too. Paper, at least FS1 cards, maybe on a Sunday morning. Who exactly knows? DC Howard, ACB. What's going on with ACB? DC, if you can hook me up with a Russian correspondent who would love to come break this down, that's what I'm looking for right now at this point in time. Because we're reading, we're doing everything we can. But stay tuned. We're going to be talking about this probably all week. And holy shit, let's jump right to Dana White's Tuesday Night Contender Series recap. Following a firecracker first round in which he was dropped twice, Domingo Palantra 8-1 chokes out Vance Morales with a comeback rear naked choke. Colossal bantamweight standing 6 feet tall, Son of Fire has finished 6 of his 8 victories. This shit was nasty. This guy went full convulsion mode. You can kind of tell just here in the GIF with it all slowed down. And man, was that Mario Yamasaki right here reffing this fight? This felt like a fucking PFL card or something to me. Look at that. He's punching, going out, doing the Holly Holm, shimmy. Fuck. You're gonna get a run of new wave synth drug rated Russian fighters. Oh, new wave synthetic drug roided Russian fighters. Awesome. Hell yeah. He's swimming. A fish out of water. That's what happens when you get a fish out of water. That shit, we had a power outage that had happened during the event. That was pretty gnarly. Raider, what's happening? Thanks for jumping in the chat. No kishing. Is that Justine kishing? What is that? Post nitrous balloon. Nicely done, Steve. Nicely done. I'm sure some other shit happened. I kind of watched the card. Marcy, the future Barber, 5-0, flashes her potential in a main event, dominating Jamie Colleen en route to a third-round TKO, busting up former King of the Cage champion with some nasty elbows to end it. 20-year-old has finished 4 of her last 5 victories. And this was your main event over there at Dana White's Contender Series. Where did I just read that someone else has a Contender Series that just got started. Pulse resurrected. What up, man? Should have tapped, she said. Or Pulse says. And Barber, man, took out this chick that was 12 years her senior, the young 20-year-old prospect taking on the 32-year-old veteran and Colleen, and it was nasty. She came in there with some nice elbows. Man, Mike Perry dropped some nice elbows the other week. Now here's Barber. Yes, DC Howard. One is starting some sort of Rich Franklin's Contender Series. That's what I read. Thank you for that. Thank you. So that's why they were correcting the media, I assume, on not just calling it Contender Series. They want it to be Dana White's Contender Series, not to be mistaken with Rich Franklin's Contender Series. So, man, we got the consolidation of Russian MMA, which probably isn't a great thing. I mean, fuck. Let's pray for ACB and whatnot, man, and fight nights. But Asian MMA is popping off. UFC is expanding into South America, going to Buenos Aires. Probably going to be headlined by Santiago Ponzinibbio later on this year. And it's we got good things going on, man. Also, Dana just wants everyone to say, Dana White, Dana White, Dana White, Dana White looking for fight. We need a new pick'em league. Okay, so over at Tapology.com, we could do picks. I don't know if you can pick the method of victory and everything like that. We could all become degenerate gamblers and do it with DraftKings. I don't know. I'm just throwing ideas out there. But Tapology kind of pissed me off with their new format. I just actually, since being on vacation and everything, went and checked out the site today. And like everyone else, man, I'm not a fan of the new format. So let's figure that shit out, Tapology. Big Marcel making some fight announcements, dropping us though. ACB lives matter. Ain't that the fucking truth? Woo! Alright, they are in financial trouble. Well, what kind of money laundering can we get into so we can keep them around? We know the mob and MMA go together like fucking a glove in a hand. Carla Esparza will fight Tatiana Suarez at UFC 228 in Dallas, Texas, September 8th. So Tatiana trying to get some good names under her belt. This will be her first previous champion that she's fighting, I believe. And this girl is fucking massive for 115 pounds. I think she runs right through her. I think she's the future of the division and probably the 125s division, in all honesty. This girl is huge. She's got excellent wrestling. This is going to be a great fucking fight that they're bringing. I hope Esparza gets wrecked. Suarez got the horse face, says Pulse. Start a GoFundMe for ACB Billionaire. What if ACB became like I don't know, we have a food place around here called Winco, and it's employee owned. Real cheap prices on food and everything. It's not your Walmart where they just send all the money out of your fucking local community. Winco, employee owned. Can we get in a fan owned MMA organization? That would turn to complete shit. Start a pick'em league. You might get 10,000 to start. So we got to combine the pick'em with ACB, and that's how we're gonna get the goddamn thing done. More fight announcements coming your way. Merab Davishvili will fight Terrion Ware at UFC Moscow. Who the hell is this guy? I've never heard of him before. Oh, let's go take a look at the new Tapology. 7-4? What the fuck? Why? This doesn't have Russia written all over it. I was really hoping to get Russia versus the world over here. Okay. So that's happening. Other fight announcements. He fought on the prelims. Recognize the names from the pick'em. Okay, BLT. Okay. Brian Barberena will face Jake Ellenberger at Fight Night 135 or Fight Night Lincoln, Nebraska, August 25th, 2018, per Brian Barberena. I guess he announced this shit. And we got the old vet against the Sage Northcutt killer. Merab is from Georgia. Quick KO on Rufus and Stat is his one big win. Stats. Okay, I'll have to look up that fight later. Go watch that KO. Might be worth it. And so we got this fight announced right here. Good fight for Bam Bam to get a sub. Yeah, Jake Ellenberger. This might be the tail end of it here, what we're looking at. But with all these other organizations popping up, you got fucking Chris Lieben coming out of retirement. He's going to face, what's his fucking name? The New York Badass, Phil Baroni, in a bare-knuckle boxing match. Sorry I didn't get the graphic for you guys on that one. But yeah, that shit's happening, so good luck staying retired as an MMA fighter, man. Better get some fucking side gig or something. Ellenberger's lost the pace to get him in positions to land clean, and Bam Bam's a tough grinder. I totally agree. That's how I would probably see this fight going as well. Look forward to maybe a interview with Jake Ellenberger on Chael Sonnen or something like that. Get to learn more about that. And man, big news. And I mean, we're probably, how many of you are cord cutters up in the chat? I heard Bare Knuckle Fight was a new promotion. Yeah, it's not the same one that was over in Montana and that Beck Rawlings fought for. A completely different organization, promotion that's doing bare knuckle fighting. But someone's going to Mississippi, I believe. And multiple commissions told the bare knuckle fighting, said, we're willing to sanction this. We're just not willing to be the first one. And so Montana did the goddamn thing. Now it opens the door for many, many people. JJ says, yes, sir. Are you saying you're a cord cutter? It looks like Pulse Reload might be a cord cutter. Well, we got some news here from Variety. Streaming subscriptions overtake pay TV customers for the first time in the United Kingdom. Story via Variety, apparently, and I totally believe it. The only reason I have cable is they gave me free HBO and local TV. I don't even have the fucking box plugged in. I use the antenna for the local TV, and I use the internet to stream everything else through all of the various sources, ESPN, Fox, Fight Pass. We'll be getting ESPN Plus when we have to, when we absolutely have to. Until then, I'll just miss out on Ariel and the bad guy. But with this same announcement, we got the announcement of DAZN USA. DAZN, D-A-Z-N, not only is going to be your main source for Bellator here in the United States, but if you want to watch Anthony Joshua versus Povtkin, then we're going to have to be watching it on DAZN. This streaming service just announced that it's going to be $9.99 a month, available through all these multiple different sources, your iPhone, your iPad, Android, Amazon Fire, all the Amazon products, Apple TV, Google Chromecast, your LG Smart TV, your Panasonic, your Samsung, your Sony, and for you gamers, your PlayStation and your Xboxes. Not your old 360, just the Xbox One. And so, DAZN, I myself have not had Paramount. I've been missing out on a lot of the Bellators. And so, you'll probably see me purchasing DAZN just to support Bellator and get all those badass fights that are happening over in the UK. I think every big Anthony Joshua fight should happen over there on the other side of the pond. Say fuck New York, fuck Las Vegas, fuck that shit. Keep hosting it over there where all of your main fans get to go watch. I think that's the way to fucking do it. You mean DAZN? I do not. I'm not going to be a stupid-ass Luke Thomas motherfucker that just... DAZN, God, that guy. He's crazy. We'll call it DAZN. Even though DAZN sounds like something... Either AutoZone, get into DAZN, AutoZone. What the fuck? They need a partnership right there. Or a copyright infringement notice. I don't know. Yeah, it definitely sounds like something that someone would have said 10 years ago. So it's 10 years old on the idea, or on the name. The idea is very mainstream. I'm all about the cord cutting thing. I hope $10 isn't something that priced a lot of people out, though. I hope Popkin sleeps AJ. I don't know nothing about these boxers. Once you become real big, then you actually get me to tune in. That's like, I'm an occasional fan, just like the occasional MMA fans that are out there. And what did Kareem Zidane drop on Twitter? Oh, here it was. Let's get this quick audio clip, courtesy of TJ DeSantis, excellent producer, Jordan Bring, and the Old Sherdog Radio Network, brought to you by Mandatory. Thank you for this audio.
Press row. I'm Jordan Breen. Well, since about 1995 or so, Russia's been a formative piece of the MMA landscape in other post-Soviet states. So 22 years on, that's only intensified. We've got Fedor Emelianenko stateside again. Well, sort of. Last weekend, Khabib Nurmagomedov, maybe the best hope ever for a UFC Russian titleist, pulled out of his boat with Tony Ferguson over medical issues surrounding his weight cut. That fight canceled for the third time, breaking fans' hearts. Meanwhile, Absolute Championship Irkut, based in Chechnya, signed a grip of notable free agent talent in the last week, 2 weeks. Takei Mizugaki, Zach Makovsky, Bubba Jenkins, and more. And don't forget, ACB have a card this weekend.
Bigfoot
UFC vet
was fought for
Luke Barnett
ACB.
facing KSW champion Mamed Haladov in the headliner. And Mamed Haladov, the guy who makes too much money in KSW to even fight in the UFC. Suffice to say, good of a time as any to rap on Russia. And if you're listening to this, you know there's only one man fit for such a task. An editor for BloodyElbow.com, a contributing writer for Vocative, Open Democracy, Sports on Earth, Bleacher Report, Well Beyond. It's Kareem Zidane. Kareem, first of all, do you think...
All right, that's just a quick preview. Be sure to go give this a look up. Maybe I'll find out a way to retweet it. Let's just retweet it right now. Boom. Learn more about Russian MMA. Or how about it's a great time? Boom. Okay. Yeah, great point, JJ. $10 for DAZN and only $5 for ESPN Plus. I think ESPN Plus is trying to work us like some drug dealer towards some crackheads, get us hooked for $5 before they jack the price way up on us. Who knows? DC Howard, DAZN is run by ESPN's 104-year-old former president, so only 10 years behind the times is actually solid. Nice. That's treason. I don't know what that's all about. But Kareem Zidane, I don't always agree with his politics and all of the SJW writing that he does, but he is an excellent source over there, and I believe he might have wrote the excellent article on RT that was about ACB and what they were hoping to do back in the day. I remember giving that a read. It was amazing. So, guys, that's just about it for all the news for us today. DAZN is in the news. Contender Series nice finishes. M1 and UFC are now partnering together. What's going on? Mac Molly on Twitter dropping some nice fucking comedy for us, though. Hey, Paige, step into my office and let's talk about your fiance getting a contract, says Dana White. And that, my friends, is a casting couch. Perfect timing for Paige. Perfect timing for Dana. I believe Austin Vanderfort got KO'd or choked out or something yesterday by the other guy. Maybe I'm wrong, though. Stained sofa. Anderson Silva is going to receive a 1-year suspension from USADA dating back to October 2017 after it was deemed that his positive drug test was due to contaminated substances. What? Holy shit. Big news for the UFC. So Shanghai almost fell apart on him. UFC China almost completely imploded into nothingness. But Bisping comes in and saves the fucking day. And it looks like we might get some finality to this Anderson Silva stuff. Nah, Austin got dropped and whipped up on him. That guy will be big league sooner or later. PVZ or not. I think I've been hearing about Austin a lot from Chael Sonnen on his podcast for years. Fucking Austin, and he's always dropping some other name, some guy named Joey or something. Silva versus DS2. Oh my god. Fuck. No, Anderson doesn't come forward. I don't want to see that shit, man. We'll fucking see what the hell happens here, though. I don't know. We'll see if Frank Bavon is accurate with that Anderson Silva story. Thanks for dropping that in the channel here. But I think we got about enough of that for the day. Thank you, everyone, for coming by, stopping in the chat. Next time, leave me a question on Twitter. We'll try and get those answered. Silva versus GSP, will that finally happen? Get that super fight. Wouldn't that be the fucking time to do it? Who said... I heard a rumor of Dallas. Just throw that out there. Alright, you sickos. Until next time, back to you guys. I'm out of here.